Welcome to the Eduard Todor podcast. Back at it with a solo episode. We've taken a little bit of time off to upgrade our equipment, so we got some things to flex on you is what what I'm trying to say here. But today I'm just want to talk about the latest comp that I actually entered after about 2, maybe 3 years of not competing and not getting after it. Had a pretty bad injury that was just ongoing. It's still sort of lingering, but I was able to get in there and compete, which was really nice. I think I'll probably make a video about that injury at some point, maybe not even on the channel, but just because it was such a frustrating injury. It's called costochondritis, and literally no one that I talked to about, like any of the specialists, knew what the hell I had. And that was the most frustrating thing. Turns out, I'll just quickly go over it, but turns out the rib cage is supposed to have some flexion at the back. Okay, it's like a bucket handle. And if your flexibility and tight, like muscles get tight, and those hinges at the back get super, super tight, it restricts that movement that would normally go through the rib cage. And all of the movement comes through the front of the ribs, right in the sternum, and it just creates a crazy amount of inflammation. So you just get sore, waking up in pain, hurts to breathe, and it just takes fucking years to do anything about it. It's really frustrating, but finally, after like seeing many physios and stuff, I found a guy that kind of has seen this before and was like, all right, here's the plan. We'll do deep tissue like dry needling and smashing it out and fascial release and all this crazy shit. And that with stretching and all that stuff, I was able to get, it took me a couple years, but I was able to get back to a no pain state, which is fucking sick. I cannot tell you how annoying it is to have chronic pain. Although if you're in America, chances are that it feels like the whole drug epidemic and like the whole fentanyl stuff was a pain management problem. That's kind of what I remember. But anyway, point is, I entered the comp, and now I can tell you with absolute certainty that winning silver, right, silver medal, sucks way worse than winning bronze. Okay. Without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, at this point, I've won every medal, right? I've gotten a bronze at a tournament. I had 1 gold at a tournament, and now I got a silver. And I can tell you, when you win a silver, okay, here's the problem with winning silver, is that you win your first match, or you win matches to get into that final, right? I had 2 matches, so I won 1 and lost 1. But anyway, you win the matches to get to the final, okay? And now your mind goes, holy shit, we can win this whole thing. This is great. I just need 1 more match. Let's go all out. Let's smash it. Let's win the whole thing. And then you get fucked up, and it just feels like you lost. It doesn't feel like you won anything. It just feels like you lost. Whereas if I, let's say, lose my first match, or I lose a crucial match and I don't place to the final, but I get to the third qualifier, whatever they call that, semi-final, I'm not sure. Basically, the match for the bronze, right? The match to win the bronze. You've basically fucked up at that point. You're going, okay, I haven't won anything. This whole shit's gonna go bad. But let me try to at least place on the podium. And then you win, and you're like, fuck yeah, like at least I got this, So you had no expectation, and then you got the bronze. With the silver, you got the expectation to win everything, and then you lose, and you get silver. So it just fucking sucks, okay? So now I kind of understand Craig Jones when he's always talking about, second best is, whatever. No one beats me 4 times in a row or whatever that is. I understand why he's making fun of himself because fuck, man, it sucks. Okay. Now, granted, this is at a local tournament and he's doing this shit on the world stage. All right. So Well, I'm not comparing that in any stretch of the imagination. Now, what was interesting though is this tournament was my first one at the pro division. So this is like there's no skill cap anymore, right? Now it's just anyone who enters, any black belt, brown belt, whatever, they could enter this division and it's on, right? So I was kind of wondering, like, I would say I was worried, but I kind of wasn't worried. I was just wondering how I would do against, this level, because this is my first time competing here. And, it felt doable. Like, it felt beatable, I made mistakes and that's why I lost, but it definitely felt beatable, which is crazy because I remember when blue belts were just untouchable, right? I remember getting fucked up by like someone with a year experience over and over and over. And now it's like, okay, I can compete at the local level, at the highest local level, which is pretty fun, right? So we're gonna take a look at these matches in a second, and you'll see kind of the highs and the lows of my last 2 weeks. All right, I've been pondering about these two matches for the last fucking however long it's been since the matches, but here it is. Actually, let us flex on you real quick. The new system, the new thing we've set up, right? I have a reaction screen now. We have everything running through, an OBS whole thing, so we can go switch back and forth with no editing. Flex on him right now. Flex on him. Hey, there we go. Switch it back. Switch it back. There we go. Boo, 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 boo. We don't have the sound effects yet, but we could load that in. Amy, load that in next time, all right? We'll add some air horns on this shit. Anyway, the point is, this is going to be a lot more fun to make. And I'm kind of hoping we're going to do like regular solo episodes and just talk about random shit I'm obsessed about, whether it's magic, whether it's jiu-jitsu. Just started playing Elden Ring. I'm about 50 hours in, and that game is fucking insane. If you haven't played it, definitely recommend it. Anyway, let's check out my first match here. Now, this kid had a match prior to this with the guy that won, and he got, like, I think Aoki locked pretty hard. So his foot was pretty sore coming into the match. I just wasn't sure how much it affected him. So I really just tried to just be heavy and make him really step that leg step that leg as much as I could. So just press play on that video. All right. A little bit of hand fighting. I felt he took a shot with no setup, so I had a collar tie there, and then I tried to hit this go behind and just like hang on him, because as much as I could put my weight on that leg, I felt like I could make him tired or make him sore. And Joel, my coach, one of my coaches, tells me he's reaching, so I get an underhook, and then we get to that front head. He tries to go for a little sweep, and I end up in this weird, like, one-arm guillotine from side control. And I'm just kind of stalled. Like, I'm thinking I'll stall out till points here. And then they're telling me that he's going to tap. So I'm like, all right, maybe there's something here. So I start adjusting that one-arm guillotine a little bit. Try to get, cut that carotid a bit more, and he taps. So that was pretty nice. Like, it felt good so far. Pretty much, if I win, it's always going to be in the first minute, and then if I get fucked up, it's going to be in the either, basically I was looking at my record, and like all my matches are either wins by submission or losses by submission. So I either win or I tap the guy, I catch him with something, or I get wrecked. Now the funny thing with that one, right, in this tournament, the rule set was you could only have, so first half it's ADCC, right? ADCC rule set supposedly. So there's no points in the first half, and then there's points in the second half, right? So basically what I was trying to do, I was trying to get to a control position and just hold out until the second half where the points start to come on, and then I'll start looking for submissions. And in the process of looking for submissions, hopefully he would give me positions and I would score. And so even if I'm not catching him with anything, I'm still ahead on the scoreboard. And so that head control, I was like, oh, well, it's going to be hard for him to bridge if I have this head. And I felt him like kind of like push a little bit, and he couldn't generate anything because his head was kind of compressed. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll just hold this. And I was like, should I connect my hands and try to go for a mounted guillotine? And then I just hear my corner go like, he's about to tap. It's like, oh, okay. I just adjust that. So yeah, that was like pretty fun, pretty good. I felt like my opponent's hand fighting was a little bit weak. Kind of gave me a bunch of like, duck under entry, underhooks. But I felt like his guard could have been a problem if we went there. So I probably avoided his dangerous spot, and that's probably why I got the finish. Now, if we take a look at the second match, which is the winner of the bracket. Now, this is the complete opposite, right? This is where I scrub the hand fighting. This guy was so strong, man. He felt really fucking strong. Go behind, foot trip. I reach behind like a scrub. Oh, that's 2 mistakes in a row right there. 2 mistakes in a row. That's the problem with with this level. Like you make 2 mistakes in a row. That's fucking game, bro. You're not, people are like, oh, you got lucky. It's like, no. Can you replay? Can you replay this video? So, just be ready to pause it when I tell you. So if you look here, right, we established the collar tie. There's a collar tie with my backhand. Where is it? Here we go. Collar tie with the backhand. That's fine. Stop. Pause it. And then I tried to repummel. So he gets like an over grip with the right hand. And I try to repummel with the left hand inside. And then I think I step forward. So press play. Yeah, as I step forward, he shucks me off for a 2-on-1 and hits that foot trip. So that was my first mistake. I swapped my underhooks. So I swapped my collar tie. And I stepped forward with the collar tie hand. So that gave him a really nice entry to the back. Then he hits the foot trip, which is fine. And then on the way down, can you go back like, I don't know, halfway through the video? Further. Yeah, here, about here. So press play. And as we end up on the ground, he's got a seatbelt. I reach back to try to hit a switch, which was stupid because it just gave him the entry for the back. And now my hand's trapped. I have to take it out. By the time I've taken it out, he's already on the neck. It was actually kind of a face crush. He caught like my bottom lip, and as he was squeezing, I felt like my teeth might break, so I kind of just tapped, and then my nose exploded as well in that little sequence. But anyway, the point is, I fucked up the collar tie. Right, I went with the lead hand collar tie without a grip, and he shucked it off for a 2-on-1. So my back's now exposed. And then on the way down, I open up instead of like playing conservative, dealing with the grip, trying to, fight my way out in a conservative fashion. I just try to hit a switch off the scramble, which is scrub tier place. That's all I got to say. And yeah, so that was the little tournament. It was a 3-man bracket. There's a couple people that pulled out. So that was kind of really fun. The thing with competitions is that I fucking hate them. Like, I'll be honest with you. I hate competing. I hate... Even in Magic, to be honest, performing is like... It's not that fun. Okay, let me reframe. Okay, so... The anticipation of the competition, the anticipation of the performance is like pretty unfun to me. Like, it's just nerve-wracking. It's like getting in your head. It's basically performance anxiety, right? It's just like wanting to do a really good job, caring a lot about the thing that you're going to do. And then in the process of caring about it, you have expectations. And so it's not really being nervous about like what the person will do to you or what's going to happen in the performance. It's more about like, what if I don't meet my own expectations, and that's like the nerve-wracking thing. And like, as it got closer to the match, I was like, man, let me just get in there. I want to be in there. Like, let's go, and like that kind of antsiness of like, I want to be in there. I just don't like that feeling, literally like before we were about to kind of, slap and bump and go, the nerves were at the all-time high. And as soon as we slap bumped and the first collar tie was on, it's like automatic. It's like a robot, you just go into automatic. And that from there on, it's fun. the whole, like the match itself is fun. After the match, thinking about the match is super fun. So like, it's really weird. Same thing with Magic, honestly, like waiting for the gig, waiting for the show. I just fucking, and that feeling is annoying. It's like this antsiness. It's this alertness that, you know, something's going to happen. And then as soon as it starts, bro, it's the most fun thing of all time. And then thinking about after, like, oh yeah, like that was a really good performance, or that was, the way that I curved this heckler was really cool, or whatever. And you really enjoy it in the afterthought. But while it's happening, while you're waiting for it to start to happen, it sucks. I don't like that. And so, the interesting thing though is that I get that with Magic, and I get that with Jiu-Jitsu. But I had a gig last night, and normally, like, if you haven't done any gigs for a while, or if there's a longer period of time between the gigs, I start to get that same sort of antsiness right before the gig, and then as soon as I start, I'm all good. But because I had done this comp, I felt like the gig was a piece of cake, right? Because it's like, oh, well, no one's going to actually try to hurt me here. And also, I know I can do this. Whereas maybe I was a bit more unsure in the jiu-jitsu. It's just really interesting, like how it's sort of like the confidence I gained from the competition actually ended up carrying over without me even realizing to the Magic gig, which was kind of interesting. So I guess that's the one thing that maybe like people talk about when it's like, oh, martial arts is a tool for self-development. It's like if you get confidence in one aspect of your life, that might actually carry over to other aspects of your life, right? But in saying that, I feel like, if you're a gym rat and all you do is do jiu-jitsu, your whole life could be falling apart. You're a mean at jiu-jitsu, but your whole life could still be falling apart. So there's obviously a balance there, right? There's going to be like the confidence and the self, not even the self-belief, but the skill set of being able to learn a skill, right? Like the skill of learning itself is something that gets applied in other areas, right? The skill of competing itself is going to get applied to other types of competition. The skill of managing nerves itself is going to apply to other areas that are nerve-wracking. But, it's the same thing when people go like, oh, can't you just use your magic in the jiu-jitsu, right? And it's like, I wish it worked that way. I wish, like, in a sense, right? In a sense, it does work that way, because deception is ingrained in martial arts, right? Like that's how obviously in more dynamic types of martial arts, this is more apparent. So for example, in wrestling and judo, you have to pretend that you're going for the first one, but really go for it for the, whatever you're going for a Soto to I wish I knew my judo. Let's say you're going for a single, and then they kind of like angle their hips and then you turn it into a double, right? You really had to get them to commit to that first defense, right? Or maybe you snap them down and as they come up, you're ankle picking, right? You really had to commit to that first snap so that they're like super tall, and now you can get lower than them and ankle pick, right? And that's essentially the same thing. It's deception, right? You're pretending that you're going to do something, making them bite on the fact that you can do that thing, and then switching to the next attack, right? In jiu-jitsu, sometimes the game slows down a lot, right? You grab a body lock and you're slowly working grips, but that's still happening. And you grab the body and you might fake that you go for a head, for a crossface, the hand comes up and then you go for the underhook, right? That it's kind of everywhere. That sort of like the dilemma-based idea, right? Where you either do this or you do this, and no matter what they do, they got to defend one or the other. That's essentially what it is, right? In Magic, I have to make you believe that, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but like this king of clubs is on the table, right? And so now no matter where you say stop, there's no way that king could be the next card over because it was already on the table, but actually it wasn't all along, right? And so that is essentially the same idea. You're creating a dilemma. You're creating an idea, like a piece of deception where it's like, okay, this is what's happening. And then they react to that thing happening. And then it's actually another thing that's happening. Right. The only problem is it doesn't cross over. Like I can't use the skills from the card stuff and then all of a sudden be able to do rear naked chokes. Like it, I wish it did, but it doesn't, right? Conceptually, obviously, you can still say, you can apply it. But realistically, if you're learning jiu-jitsu, if you're learning a martial art, it's ingrained in the learning of the art. So is it really that useful? Kinda. Not really. Yeah. There was actually a class I taught on a specific passing sequence, kind of a Toreando left, right sequence. And I showed a coin move where I throw the coin left and right, left and right, left and right. And then at one point I pretend to throw it. And I show that it basically fools your mind because you condition to see it being thrown left and right. And when that switch happens and it's identical to the throwing, your mind can't process it. So it assumes that the coins traveled across. And I use that kind of concept and like analogy to explain that, you want to fake left, right on the Toreandos. And then at one point, you're committing to the right, but it looks like you're going left first. So the other person's going to overcommit to the left, and you're going to have a really nice way around their guard, right? So I've used it in like teaching a concept, but realistically, it's just for fun, right? You're not really going to learn jiu-jitsu by being a good magician. So yeah, that was sort of my breakdown of a couple little matches I had. Yeah, I mean, the thing with the comps is that you really got to prepare for them. You can't go in there with shit cardio and shit everything and then expect to do anything decent. So I say in my head, I'm like, fuck, I want to get back in there and try to do better. But it's just going to depend whether or not I can be bothered doing the cardio prep for it, because it's pretty fucking shit. Doing those hill sprints is pretty AIDS. I'm not going to lie to you. So anyway, that was a little update, a little episode talking about kind of what I've been up to. Hopefully we're going to do more of these like solo sort of episodes where we just kind of might have like different, what do they call them? Like features, like in old radio shows, they got the magic news. They got the old jiu-jitsu memes. They got the old Reddit white belt scrubs that are spazzing out and they don't know why their gym's mad at them, and we can read them the comments or whatever. We can do a bunch of little stuff that's just trying to find a way to create content when our schedule isn't working with any guests for that week. So let me know if you guys have enjoyed this sort of style of, there's been some good feedback on the previous solo episodes, so I figured we'll give them more of a try. But yeah, if you have any ideas on what things you would want me to talk about and, maybe even read or, funny subreddits or even videos to react to, because now we have this whole system. So it's going to be easy to react to videos. It's going to be easy to, if you have, matches or whatever that you don't know what happened or whatever, it could be anything. So just let me know. Hit me up in the DMs and we'll appreciate the feedback. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.